Ladies and gentlemen, my guest this week.
Joining me this week on the line from Cork is Celtic Championship Wrestling star Raven Creed. Raven, thank you for joining us here on The Kickouts.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're more than welcome. So first of all, let's talk about how you first got into pro wrestling. What influenced you to become a pro wrestler like you are now?
Well, when I was younger, I always did kind of like fighting sports. I'm a black belt in karate myself. I did boxing, Thai boxing, all those kind of things. So that when I finally kind of started watching wrestling, it was like all those really cool sports joining together. And on top of that, you could yell really loud and just be an all-around jerk, which I always found very appealing.
Yeah.
And then when I started training, after my first training session, I fell in love with it, and I just couldn't stop doing it.
It's pretty cool. So how would you describe the Raven Creed character, both in and out of the ring? Like you say, like you incorporate a lot of shouting. Is that like a part of the Raven Creed character?
The way that I would describe Raven Creed for anyone who hasn't seen her would be a psychopathic weirdo with daddy issues. And then inside the ring, I guess Raven has the ability to be really technical, and she has the ability to wrestle, but she just kind of prefers to be scrappy, and she prefers to fight instead of wrestle.
So
if you know what I mean.
So she's tough when she wants to be, but she's technical when she wants to be, in other words.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
Makes sense. Cool. And were there any wrestlers or people that influenced any part of the character, both past and present?
Wrestlers that would influence Raven would be when I first started doing the style that I'm doing now, the whole insane kind of crazy thing. I always watched Mankind back in the day.
Okay.
Because just watching him was so interesting. He just literally would tear out his hair, and it was just so interesting and fascinating just to watch him.
Cool. And so obviously, as you said, you seem to portray yourself like as a heel character, more or less, in Celtic Championship Wrestling. What do you find yourself would be like the pros and cons of being a heel character?
Oh God, I love being a heel. It is the funnest thing in the world, because most people, when they are like saying to themselves, "Oh yeah, I want to be a wrestler," they always imagine like standing in the middle of the ring and people cheering for them and chanting their name. I was the complete opposite. I always relished in the idea of people booing me. That's a big pro for me, because I just always love being a jerk and getting away with it, basically, because I can't do that in real life. A con of it then would be like if a babyface gets hurt, everyone's really sympathetic and stuff, and they're like, "Oh no, we don't want you to break your nose." But then if like someone punches me in the face, they're like, "Yes, break her face," which is kind of a little bit sad when people are just cheering for your blood, basically.
But you get away with it more as a heel, you find.
Yeah, you can do anything as a heel, basically.
Makes sense. So, of course, you wrestle the majority of your matches down in Cork at Celtic Championship Wrestling. What have your experiences been like wrestling for the promotion?
CCW is one of the friendliest places I've ever been. I've met some of my best friends for life, guaranteed, in CCW. We bonded over more things than just wrestling. Like, we could stay up till like 4 a.m. just chatting about nothing. We put on some of the best shows that I've ever seen. Like, for example, we're doing one this Saturday in Cork called Ladder Wars. Bit of a cheap plug there for you.
Okay, cool. I encourage it.
Oh yeah, thank you. And we always put on fantastic shows, but then behind the curtain, we're all friends, we're all welcoming. It's one of the friendliest atmospheres of anywhere I've actually been.
It's pretty cool. And obviously you said now, like, Celtic Championship Wrestling doing very well. Like, they're doing some very good shows at the moment, as you say, in Cork, including Ladder Wars 2 coming up this Saturday. But how would you describe the state of pro wrestling in Ireland right now in general?
I don't think it's ever been better, to be honest, because like with all like the worldwide Irish talent, like Finn Balor considered one of the best wrestlers in the world, and we have Sheamus, there's Becky Lynch. With the UK tournament that just happened, there was a bunch of Irish wrestlers in that too. World of Sport is coming back. Hopefully that will involve a few Irish wrestlers as well. The world of Irish professional wrestling has never been better and has never been bigger, and I can see that it's only going to continue to grow. And to be honest, it's an actual honour that I'm alive now and that I'm wrestling now to be able to be a part of this.
That's pretty cool. Like, so obviously, like, you've how long have you been wrestling for again, if you mind me asking?
I'm wrestling for around 3 years now.
So in those 3 years then, who have been your favourite wrestlers to be in the ring with, and why?
Wow. I've never wrestled someone that I didn't like wrestling. I suppose one of my favourite people that I've actually wrestled with is someone who I'm wrestling against this Saturday, Lauren LaRue.
Okay.
I've only been in the ring with her twice, but every single time it's really fun, and we always put on a great match. She's a terrific wrestler and great behind the scenes as well. But while we're in the ring, we beat the almighty hell out of each other. And again, you can see that this Saturday in the Kino in Cork City.
Okay.
I would highly recommend it because whenever we're in the ring together, it's always pretty good.
That's pretty cool. So also in the 3 years that you've been wrestling now, what would you consider the highlights of your wrestling career so far?
This is going to sound a little bit sappy, a little bit cheesy.
Go for it.
But like, if I had won 1 million championships at this point, or if I had wrestled 1 million world famous people, I don't think nothing would compare to like someone. A fan of CCW once made an action figure of me, and I still have it. And it sounds really stupid and corny, but I still have it in my room. And the fact that someone kind of went out of their way to make a toy for myself, like I owned all WWE toys, like I still have like John Cena and like CM Punk toys and stuff like that in my room. And so the fact that I have one myself is just, it sounds really stupid, but it is a bit of a highlight. It's a little bit humbling kind of a thing.
And did the person who gave you that action figure know you were into had all the figures before, or was it just a coincidence?
No, I'd never met her before. She was just a fan of CCW.
Wow.
And she made an action figure for me. I still have it, and I hopefully will have it forever.
That's awesome. That's quite a highlight there, like, for sure. So, as you said, like, you have a bunch of figurines at home from all the wrestling from growing up. So, as a fan and even as a wrestler right now, who are your favourite wrestlers to watch?
Oh God, I'm going to be a stereotype here. My favourite wrestler growing up was John Cena.
No.
God, he, like, even recently when he won the 16 World Championship, I was just jumping around my bedroom acting like a 12-year-old all over again. Nowadays, I'm kind of more moving on to people more like kind of Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, those kind of people who can inspire me as a heel as well.
I see. So the heelish moves they pull off or something that can inspire your characters.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. As for yourself now, so do you have any long or short-term goals you'd still like to accomplish in your wrestling career?
I think every wrestler, and I honestly think people would be lying if they didn't say that they want to go to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's everyone's goal. Granted, I want to work everywhere. If I get a chance to work in Japan, America, Europe, I don't care. I'll wrestle anywhere. That's my long-term goal.
Mm-hmm.
My short-term goal, and I guess this would be a long-term one too, is kind of to make an impact and to make people remember me. I want to be able to do things that people will walk away from a show going, oh yeah, that blue-haired chick, she was really, really cool. That's all I want.
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool. Like, you have the objective where you want to make it like a lasting memory, like, for people to go and see you. That's pretty cool. Finally, I must ask you, now, it's come to my attention that you and your current tag team partner Billy Bedlam are perhaps not on the same page at because I heard that you attacked him after a mixed tag team match involving the pair of you and Lauren LaRue and Omega in the last CCW show.
Yeah.
So, in an ideal world, if you were to choose any other wrestler in the world, living or dead, as your tag team partner, who would it be and why?
Oh my God, there's so much options.
You can give me as many options as you want. Like it's probably difficult to narrow down to one, but go on as many as you want.
Okay, there'd be a few people. Hulk Hogan, because I would never ever lose if I was with Hulk Hogan.
Good point.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, because afterwards there would always be a fantastic party.
Good call.
Maybe I might throw in like Brock Lesnar, just because I would have to do none of the work and he'd just bait the almighty hell out of people and I'd just stand on the apron.
So he just German suplexes everybody and then you just come in for the quick pin.
Pretty much, yeah. And then a selfish one then for myself. And maybe throw in AJ Lee, who's retired now, I know, but she was the first ever woman wrestler that I watched that I realised that women can be wrestlers. So I'd love to throw in with her. Oh, and maybe actually, just because she's modern now, Bayley.
Okay.
Just because our characters would be so different, and I'd love to see a bit of a clash. You know, her being all happy and then me being creepy and weird.
It would be like the Cesaro and Sheamus of women's wrestling, where like you'd be resisting the hugs off or something like that. So
exactly, yeah. Complete differences, like
that'd be quite a tag team. So as you mentioned before, Celtic Championship Wrestling will be back in the Kino in Cork for Ladder Wars 2. The establishment strikes back. Tickets are still available on eventbrite.ie. Raven, thank you so much for joining us here on the Kickout. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
More than welcome.